season began with the entire starting backfield returning, and expectations for Auburn's first Southeastern Conference title since 1957 running high.
And I think everybody who came in with my class, we came to Auburn because we wanted to go to Auburn. I don't think we're thinking about conference championships or national championships, and when Coach Dye came in, he instilled that, and you know, now it's something we really believe in.
Auburn had not won a Southeastern Conference title in over 25 years, but Dye had garnered 3 outstanding recruiting classes.
You're talking about a little small country town where there's 18,000 students, and all they got is each other, and it's a setting where there's a lot of warmth and close relationships between the student body and the players and each other and the town and the community, and it's just one big happy family.
But during summer workouts, Auburn lost a member of the family. Starting fullback Greg Pratt collapsed from heat stroke, and the 1983 season was dedicated in his memory.
I've already spoke with our squad, and it's just a very sad time for all of us.
After an early loss to Texas, Auburn won 9 games in a row, including 7 against teams headed for bowls. The regular season came to a close last weekend against arch-rival Alabama. Auburn prevailed 23-20 and is bound for the Sugar Bowl as the 3rd-ranked team in the country. For the outstanding job Pat Dye has done holding the team together and finishing the toughest schedule in the nation at 10-1, Pat Dye has been named the 1983 NCAA Coach of the Year. And Pat Dye is with us here in our studios in Atlanta. We'll be opening up the phone lines in just a moment. But first of all, we'll be talking with Pat Dye for a few moments. Looking back at this season, we talked to you August, said that you're playing the toughest schedule in the nation. Indeed, it turned out that way. You played, what, 8 teams going to bowls?
Well, I guess Michigan would make it 9.
Right.
And but it was a difficult schedule. We knew it was difficult going in, and we started last spring and preparing for the schedule that we had from a mental standpoint and getting the kids ready to play it. I really don't think that our football team was on an emotional high, but 3 times during the year. I think we were on an emotional high when we played Tennessee and Knoxville coming off a Texas loss. I think we were emotionally high for Florida and Georgia. I don't think we were emotionally high for Alabama, and that was kind of unusual, but I don't think we were, but they played well enough to win all year long. Another thing that we did that I thought was very important to our football team was that with the kind of schedule we had, playing the kind of teams that we were going to be playing, our coaching staff did a great job with our players in working in practice to win the close games. Because we had lost to Georgia and Florida the year before. We lost to Florida by 1 and Georgia by 5 points because we didn't win that close game at the end. And we talked about it continuously and winning that close game at the end. And as it turned out, of course, we won the Florida State game in the last 2 minutes. We won it, actually took the ball length of the field on offense and scored and came back and stopped Florida State on defense to win it. And then against Florida, they got their onside kick at the end and had a chance to win it. We stopped them. And of course, the Georgia game was won in the last seconds. The Alabama game was won at the end. Maryland game, we came from behind at the end and won it. So our football team matured and showed a lot of poise and confidence, and got great senior leadership from a group of seniors that were not highly recruited coming out of high school. I don't think we probably, and we kind of measure how good they are by who recruits them, and most of them were not recruited by Georgia and Alabama, but during the course of 4 years they've worked and matured and developed into players and a talent that can play against anybody, and it's been a lot of fun and to watch them grow and mature and see them come in a frustrated state like we came into 3 years ago and turn into a championship football team has really been something to be a part of.
You mentioned you were able to win these close games because of what you did in practice. What do? Create pressure situations?
No, not really. Well, you talk about mistakes, turnovers, for instance, penalties, being able to execute under pressure, and of course our football team led the nation in fewest turnovers last year, and I think we're second this year. I believe Michigan leads the team and leads the nation in fewest turnovers with 15, and we've got 16. So we've not beaten ourselves. A lot of that credit goes to Randy Kimmel, our little quarterback. He probably couldn't play for anybody else in the country, but he He's been a great player and a winner for us and a real leader for us. But our running backs and the people that handle the football, you know, they are disciplined and don't turn it over.
You mentioned he couldn't play for anybody else in the country, but he can play for you, presumably because of the wishbone and your talented running backs, correct?
Well, Randy is I don't mean he doesn't have any ability, because he does have ability, but he's not the biggest guy in the world. He weighs about 165 pounds and doesn't have the most speed or the strongest arm, but he's good enough to do the things that we ask him to do, and he is surrounded with some outstanding ability. But the thing that makes Randy special is when he steps in that huddle, all 10 of the rest of the players are better because of his presence, and that sets him apart from a lot of the rest of them.
Bo Jackson had such an outstanding freshman year coming in there. Publicity, great on the field, great off the field. But there were some problems. He wasn't really happy, or he had a hard time adjusting.
Well, you'd have to understand Bo to it wasn't that Bo is a very, I think, a unique individual and special. He's not a Bo only took one official visit when he was being recruited. He was not a highly recruited athlete to start with, so he wasn't spoiled by recruiting. And he came to Auburn. He found a place where he could come and play early, and he liked the players and the coaches and the atmosphere. And I don't think he ever considered going anywhere else once he came down to visit. So he had that going for him. But he was still a mama's baby, or mama's boy, I should say, because he certainly wasn't a baby. And he had a very close and meaningful relationship with his mother. And Bo was exposed to a lot of things at Auburn that he wasn't exposed to in high school. And, you know, he had trouble dealing with it like all other freshmen do. And I'm sure that anybody that goes through the things that a freshman does becomes frustrated, and sometimes they don't know which way to turn, and he's fixing to go home. But a lot of them have gone home and come back, and of course Bo never made it home. He came back and he took his discipline for missing curfew and came in and apologized to me, and I told him, I said, well, it's not something that we all don't think about. I thought about it when I was playing, and there's not many that don't.
So you could relate to the Marcus Dupree situation.
Right, but not really Marcus Dupree. I think it's entirely different, because Marcus Dupree went completely out of the country. Bo was, you know, he's in state 2 hours from home, and but Bo is a very humble, unselfish player. I really believe that Bo cares so much about his teammates that he would rather Lionel James have the success that he's having rather than himself. I think he's that kind of individual. But at the same time, he is a competitor that's, I think, just beginning to realize what he can actually do on a football field, and what he can actually do for a team in terms of winning a football game and going out and dominating a football game. And he's accepted that role now, where a year ago I don't think he really understood that. But this year, in the big games that we had to win, there's no question that from an emotional standpoint on the sideline, he was a different player, a different human being. And that competitiveness and that ability to get the most out of his ability, which is tremendous, I think inspired our whole football team, offensively and defensively, and made all of us better. Made me a better coach, made them better players, and there's no question that he's got a tremendous future. And I think that based on what he did this year, he's certainly established himself as a genuine candidate for the Heisman Award in the years to come.